Okay, so you have a 3K3Y, and you have a whole bunch of games, in my case, or you may have just one or two. But you want to take the games you have and create a backup copy so that in case the disk gets scratched, or whatever reason you decide, uh, you can have it on your PC and locate it straight to the 3K3Y. But you don't know how exactly to do that. So, we will show you right now, quick and easy. It's not very complicated. Exactly how to do it. So there's a couple things you need. You need a 3K3Y Ripper, which is this tiny little boardy thingy right here. And this is what allows you to actually interact with a CD drive. And of course, you need a PS3 CD actual drive from a PS3. So you just open up a dead PS3 when you're not using, or one you are using if you want. But basically a CD drive that you will never use again. Because when you use this with the 3K3Y, unless you know of a way I'm not aware of, you cannot repair the drive back to your PS3. Not unless you have the key, which is kind of hard to get. So you need this board, a drive, and then you need to power it with an adapter to take the little pins into a regular computer pin. And of course you need a USB cable to plug this into your computer. Once you have that, you're good to go. You just need to plug it in first, turn on your computer, and then is hook the USB cable into there and plug it into a USB port. And then once you do that, your computer will come up and say that you are now installing new software. Okay, so now that hopefully your PS3 drive is up and running, you need to come in and you need to launch the 3K3Y Ripper tool, which if you watched my last video, you already should have. If you don't have it, because you either didn't watch my last video, or you are trying to download it now instead of back when the site was active, you may not find it straight from the source 3K3Y. Since I made my last video, they have actually taken down the site. The site is no longer active, but you can still get the Prepper. It's just not directly from the 3K3Y anymore. Apparently, they gave up on on the software, but it still works, and you can still get it. So once you plug in the drive and you launch the 3K3Y Repair software, it will come up and it will tell you whether or not it has detected uh, the disk drive. If it has, you'll see right here it says drive detected OK. That means that your drive is working properly, and if you put in a game into the drive, it should detect it. So, we're just going to take a random one of these. We'll do it with this game. And what you want to do is simply load in a disk straight into the PS3 drive, and it should take it in and read it. I just put one in, so now it should read it. Okay, Windows 10 loves to pop that up. I have no idea why that popped up. Once you insert the disk, it will come up and it will say that a disk is inserted. If you have not set up the software, Like I just downloaded this just now, so it's not set up. You have to tell it to use the default keys, or else you'll notice that rip game is not an option. It will not allow you to rip the game. That's because it needs to know the key to use in order to decrypt the game. Now, usually you do that with a 3-dump. I never use that. If you have one, you can load it. Uh, Usually get it from Multiman or from, what is it, custom firmware. I don't have that. I don't have a way of loading custom firmware because I didn't take that route. So I don't have this. It doesn't mean you can't rip a game. If you go into your settings here, you'll notice that there's a checkbox. It says use default keys. You want to check that. Now, doing so will make it so that, as I mentioned earlier, you will not be able to repair your system, and that's what it's telling you right now. It's saying that if you use the default keys, which are the generic keys that the software already knows about, it will overwrite the keys that are on your disk drive and basically make it useless for any the PS3 system. So it's asking you to confirm if you want to basically make the drive useless in a PS3. We do. So I want to say yes. You can come in here and you can do the create IRD while ripping. I would say yes. Uh, what that does is if you watch my last video, you know what an IRD is. If you have not and you have no idea what an IRD is, or if you've forgotten, an IRD is what allows the game to be uh, checked once it's in downloadable format. So ISOs, files directly, they can be verified using the IRD that you're about that you can make, and that way whoever downloads the game, if you decide to torrent it, which I don't support, but if you chose to go that route, someone can download this IRD and verify that the game is legit, that it is exactly what it's supposed to be and no one has altered it. Uh, IRDs are usually created by people that copy or rip the game from the disc while they're doing it. So I would definitely recommend keeping that checked because it's a very easy way for you to verify that what you have is legit. Once you have the settings set up, which hopefully you had them set up before if you just did it with me, then you'll have to hit the button on your little circuit board. That's the eject button. It will eject the CD from the disk or from the drive. Uh, and then it tells you right here that the disk was removed. That's what I just did. I ejected the disk and then reinserted it. What that does is when you insert the disk, it will tell you whether the drive has been authenticated, meaning the keys are working. What we just set up, the default keys are working. If they're working, or if your 3-dump keys are working, it will give you the game's disk title, which is a whole bunch of uh, letters and numbers, and tell you that it's ready. This is the point where you can actually just rip the game. That's all you need to do. You just need to make sure your settings are correct in here. If you don't have a 3-dump, you want to use the default keys. And then whether you want the IRD or not, insert the disk. It will tell you if it's authenticated. Uh, and then all you have to do from this point, you'll notice the RIP game is now available. Click it. Once you click that, it will give you uh, the save dialog, and it's asking, the first one will ask where you want the IRD file. The IRD, of course, we already know what that is, and I will save it to my desktop. We'll just put it in. Now it's asking where you want to save the ISO. which for us will be the same location. Then you click save, and it will then go through and make the game and the IRD. Right now, it is going through, of course, and making the game first. Okay, so once it does that, it will come through. It'll calculate all the hashes that it needs. It'll tell you how many regions there are on the disk, and then it will basically start copying everything from the disk into your ISO. Then all you have to do is wait for this to complete. If there's an error, it will tell you. If not, then once this is ripped, it will be in the ISO. Now,